Nothing's changed. Location doesn't matter. And these are new dice.
Was that weird that I was deciding to do the accent, and then you did the accent, and I was like, oh god, I can't make another accent. Oh, it did? I was like, mine was supposed to be like Brazilian, you know?
That's a good idea.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Because I thought I had just literally copied your accent. I was like, oh.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Anna Prosper Robinson, my co-host Kelly Link, and we are here, of course, at the stream of Annihilation. And now we get to sit down with Doug here, head of SmiteWorks, who makes the virtual tabletop Fantasy Grounds. So if somebody at home has never heard that combination of words before, yeah, tell them what is SmiteWorks, what is Fantasy Grounds?
So a virtual tabletop in general is just basically taking everything that you do around an actual tabletop and making it virtually online so that it helps automate everything. It helps do everything that you can do around the table, but you can all be separate from each other geographically.
So it's a web app specifically, is that right?
Yeah, this is a software that you install on your computer. Everyone
okay.
installs it on the computer, and then they play it over the web, essentially.
Awesome. That's so cool. And so when I'm using this to play Dungeons and Dragons, can I play any module? Can I play Tomb of Annihilation? I mean, that's of course the first thing on all of our minds.
Absolutely. So we're going to typically get like all of the modules that are going to come out. We'll get those in a few months in advance. Like at the same time that they go off to the printers, they come over to us. We get busy like working on converting them over and making them all digital. And then when it releases in print, it releases on Fantasy Grounds at the same time, and you can play that. And we have the entire back catalog of 5th edition D&D. Every single adventure module, every single supplement is all in a digital format that you can use in Fantasy Grounds for character creation, or just like making your own adventures even, or running the adventures that are there.
Very cool.
Is there earlier editions, like 2nd or 3rd edition, 3.5?
So we also have support for Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 and also 4th edition, but we don't have the adventure modules for those. But you can still go in and you can play those games, and that all comes kind of out of the box. And then you also have the, a lot of the 4th edition modules we've been bringing them over and converting them to 5th edition.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, that seems pretty simple. to do.
No. So like 5th edition is such a great system because you can pretty much bring any of them over. You use the same maps, the same images, same storylines, and then you just convert them over with the newer, faster playing rules, basically.
And what if I want to play a homebrew campaign? I know that you guys have some capability there
so
too.
it's a mix. So what a lot of people will like to do is you could take pieces of an adventure and you could actually unlock. Every one of our screens has got like an unlock button, and you can unlock it, you can edit it, you can add your own story, you can change the story, you can use your own maps. If you want to like replace a map, if you don't like this map or you want your own map in there, you could do that, or you could just change out all the room contents.
So it's like you can edit a map, like depending on where you want the river to be and a mountain over here, or is it more so that like you have a template of maps to choose from?
Yeah, so you can use any sort of image that you have, and you could put a grid over top and use that as a map.
Cool.
But typically each of the rooms, instead of going to like, oh, it's room 13 or B4 or whatever, you just click on a link and it opens up, okay, this is what's in the room. And so you can change what is in each one of the rooms, and then you can play it out that way. Put new monsters in it, or add more monsters, or make it easier, or whatever.
What kind of integration does it have for actually playing Dungeons and Dragons rather than it just being a tabletop? Does it have like a spell book attached to it where you can open up for your wizard spells?
Yeah, absolutely. So it has every one of the spells for 5th edition is in the game.
Cool.
It comes out of the box with like all the SRD stuff like preloaded, but you can get the official like player's handbook all set up and ready to run. You can make your own spells if you want to. You can do that, and then it helps just automate a lot of it. So like one of the things in the video that we just showed earlier was doing a fireball. So one of the things is you could draw like an area of effect and have like, oh, here's a 30-foot sphere, and target everything in that, and then it'll automatically help automate that, where it rolls all the saving throws, it determines who succeeds, who fails, and then when you roll your damage, it does it all, applies it to all the different people. So the bookkeeping portion of Dungeons & Dragons is completely automatable if you wanted to. You can turn it on or off, which level of automation you want, but it helps kind of play faster.
Especially for like newer DMs that might have trouble
Oh, yeah.
with it, that definitely seems like a good tool to use.
And reminders, so that there's all sorts of different effects, and like which creatures have resistance to certain weapons, and was I hitting a skeleton with a bludgeoning weapon or whatever? The computer knows that, and it'll automatically, like a lot of times I'll play with new players especially, and they'll say, well, how come it only did half damage on that? It's because the computer knew that something happened, or when you did the critical damage, it helped figure out like, oh, you get the extra damage when you're doing crit. So it just helps make it easier to run the game and to play the game.
And I can play remotely online with a whole crew of people,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, and then some people. So remote play is probably the main kind of focus of what we built it for originally. But we've seen a growing trend over time where people play more and more at the table, and then they'll use TVs are so cheap now, and you can use a TV as a second monitor.
Right.
Very easily. And so
That's a great idea.
they'll do that, or they'll do a projector, or whatever.
I mean, we
but
had a
TVs
specific
especially.
table in our house for Dungeons and Dragons. That was the D&D table, and it took up a lot of space. And we had one of those fold-out mats with the grid on it and everything.
Yeah.
So having it just be a flat screen on a TV, so you have space for your books and everything. All right.
Exactly. And then some people have even gone so far as they've taken, we've got like an extension that one of our community members wrote that takes the map and blows it up so it completely fills a TV. You just put it in like 50-inch TV or whatever, and it makes it 1-inch square, so you can even use miniatures. And then you get all the
Lay it
automation,
flat, yeah.
and you get all the campaign management, but you can still do the dice rolling. You can still roll your own physical dice around the table.
Oh, that's just opening up a whole new world of possibilities for Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
right? Could you imagine having like an interactive TV screen? If you put a miniature on, it would have like a code on the bottom of it. You could read it. Oh, sorry.
Future stuff, Kelly. Future
Exactly.
stuff. So what do I need if I want to sit down? I want to use Fantasy Grounds. I want to play D&D. Do I need to bring anything with me?
So no, really all you need to do is go out to fantasygrounds.com, check out our software. We got free demos, or you can go to Steam and do a search for Fantasy
cool.
Grounds, and you can run it on Mac or Linux or PC.
Awesome.
And just kind of go through there. There's a lot of demos, lots of videos. Our community is super, super helpful. Like, we're here at this show, and so like a lot of times I'll do even customer support, and John does customer support and stuff too as well.
Are you having
and
a good time at the show, by the way?
we're having a great time at the show.
Do you play Dungeons and Dragons yourself?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I get an opportunity to play with Chris Lindsay, which is a blast.
Very
He's great to play with, and he catches everything on fire, and
This
it's
is
a lot of
such a
fun.
surreal experience. I mean, I'm in a Gen Con, which is a collection of a giant amount of D&D, but this is something different. This really is like a D&D summer camp.
Yeah. I've heard people starting to call it that. It
Yeah.
really does feel that way.
Yeah.
So with Fantasy Grounds, one of the biggest things I was talking about playing remotely, we're here at the Stream of Annihilation. We're talking about streaming Dungeons and Dragons. Have you guys experimented with Fantasy Grounds and streaming, or what do you feel like it offers for the streamer?
So streaming is kind of new to me as well. So we've kind of started going in, and we've been doing some of the streaming as well. We started our own stream that we do on Sunday evenings, and we've got a hiatus right now during the summer because everybody's schedules are crazy right now, but we're going to pick it back up in the fall. So if you check our Fantasy Grounds Twitch stream, we've got that on there. And then we've got a couple other people who have been doing different types of streams. And so I think it lends itself well to that, especially with different overlays. And you can have that, plus you can have either like Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever, and link it all into your overlay for streaming. I think it's a great way to play, and it's a great way for people to watch and to learn and see how well it really runs.
Has being here at Stream of Annihilation and seeing a lot of these streams and things, has it had any impact on you? Has it made you think about, what you want to do with Fantasy Grounds?
No, this is definitely to a level to where I'm not sure I'll get to this level to where we've got, went through hair and makeup, which was an amazingly, I checked that box, that's done that. So we won't have the hair and makeup stuff on our stream, but
You could.
we could.
You could.
We could, yeah.
If you wanted to.
So definitely, this is the pinnacle. This is the what everyone I think that does their own streams would strive to get to this level. But we're not quite there yet. But I mean, it's fun to try. That's the thing is, it's so easy for anybody to get on and to stream and to run their games online and stuff that there's nothing holding you back. There's no one judging whether or not you've done it the right way or not.
Right.
It's just go out there and have fun. And we see a lot of people doing that. And some people have like just a handful of viewers. And that's great. It's like as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying it. The nice thing is that one of the nice things is that when you're streaming on Twitch or whatever, it saves your last video. If someone can't make it one game session, they could always go back, they could watch it. So it's good stuff.
Oh yeah, and see looking back on what you've done, what you've messed up, or as a DM, looking back on your campaigns and what you could have done differently, what you could have changed, seeing how people react. Going back through VODs is awesome. It's great. It's a great opportunity, and for Dungeons and Dragons, for people that can't watch it live, they can just go back and watch their favorite.
Exactly.
We always use it too as like a judge in our debates. Because I'll be like, no, we saw this goblin before. And they'll be like, no, we've never seen this. And we'll go to the VODs, the VODs will decide.
So one of the things I did recently is we have our chat log. So everything that's done in the game is saved. Every roll, every damage dealt, everything is saved. And everything that people type in chat as well. And so we put together a little brief service we're playing around with. We'll probably make it official at some point, but you could upload your chat log, and it does all the statistical analysis, and it says who rolled the most 20s, who rolled the most 1s, how many times did you have to roll before you got a 20, before
Some post-analysis
all
for dice
of the
rolls?
monsters. How many goblins have you guys killed in the entire game session ever? and all that kind of stuff.
That's
So
a
it's great.
big deal,
I love the
right?
analysis of your
I know that
game.
there's like a lot of people that would like. I personally love having kill counters on my video games, right? Knowing having that for Dungeons and Dragons.
Who's dealt the most damage? And it's the wizard. It's always the
And
wizard.
we all like, because there's no winner in D&D, but those would have.
there is a winner in
at
D&D.
the end.
There's someone that like was the best during that run,
Right.
Like someone that really impressed. Anytime I played my halfling thief and I had like a 3 times damage backstab, man, I was the queen.
Yeah, as the resident tank myself, I feel like I would win the damage.
Yeah.
Maybe not, anything else, but at least the damage.
And damage taken. So you can record that too.
Right.
And see who's died the most, who's been taken,
That's
wounded.
awesome.
So
I was
it's been a
gonna
lot of
see if
fun.
there's like a way to do a ranking system for that, but there's no way. That wouldn't work out. An online ranking system to track who does most damage in D&D. That'd be ridiculous.
Well, what do you guys stream on your channel? What could we look for there once you do start it back up?
So Chris Lindsay is in our game, and so he plays a dwarf that catches everything on fire.
Great.
And so right now we're streaming the Storm King's Thunder, and we're playing through that series. We've hopped around a little bit. We've played some Dungeons and Dragons Adventure League games and some other stuff, but right now we're in the Storm King's Thunder. We'll probably be in that for quite a while, I would think. And then I just started on Wednesdays, actually, with a group of other streamers. We started doing the Tales of the Yawning Portal, and we're alternating DMing of that. And so I've started off the first roll of DMing. I'll be doing it next Wednesday on our channel. We'll be hosting it on there, and it's hosted on a couple of different ones.
Session or like each campaign?
Each campaign, each adventure, because the Tales of the Yawning Portal are like 6 or 7 different adventures.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm doing the Sunless Citadel. The next one is going to be the Forge of Fury, and then from there it's going to keep going.
Okay.
And so that's on Wednesday nights on our channel.
Do you see a specific difference from your DMing style? I know so many. I mean, I've DM'd, or not, I have not personally DM'd, but I've been around a bunch of other DMs. Some that are very methodical. Everything has to be by the book. Some people that are just, you jump across a ravine. You do it.
I'm kind of a wing it sort of a DM a little bit, and so I try to find a way to say yes to players whenever they say, hey, can I do this? I'll say yes, and I'll just kind of come up with a role that they have to do or whatever.
Yes,
and figure it out.
Creative
We'll just
problem solving.
Yeah,
rather than do you roll the d20 and do you make your saving throw?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But I guess I'm a little stingy on the inspiration, evidently, according to my players. They're like, man, you have to almost die before Doug will give you an inspiration.
You're in good company there, because Chris Perkins, as I recall, for Dice Camera Action, we have 50 episodes, and I only recall twice that he's ever given out inspiration.
Yeah, I just
We've
forget
been
to
calling
do
him
it.
out on
I mean,
that.
it's not like a definite thing that I'm trying to do. I just kind of forget to do it. So.
I just, as a player, I'm always like, did I do good enough? Did I?
Yeah.
But I think he just forgets, like you said. I love inspiration, though. And is there anything that you particularly, like as a player yourself, are excited about for Tomb of Annihilation as a player, or is there anything that you're kind of like,
I don't know what sort of things we're supposed to say because of spoilers.
Right. So far, we know it's in the jungle.
But
You're in, in
Yeah.
depth of what's going on because you've been working on them with it for the fantasy. Okay.
There are some amazing things there, but I like the whole, the different types of NPCs and monsters and the little cholt goblins and stuff like that, and definitely some interesting twists that are going to make this campaign and this adventure stand out. That's going to be way different than anything
I'm really
before
excited
it.
about the guides. I think that aspect of it, that you have to decide on which guide you want, and they're based off of different factions, so you don't know if someone is working with you or against you. Maybe they want you to go into the wrong part of the jungle. I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of, we all identify with this adventure in the jungle thing. We all know how that goes, but to be surprised by the idea of zombie dinosaurs and, creatures like that, that I'm really excited about. And I imagine, of course, again, you can't spoil anything for us, but I imagine you've seen a lot of really cool art and you've worked with that with Fantasy
The art's
Grounds.
amazing. I like the face mask that the goblins wear, especially. That really kind of drew my attention to it. The fact that they stack up and that they can fight as a stack of goblins is amazing. That to me is really, really cool. They all fit the same space and they're holding on each other's shoulders and stuff. And so,
where do you guys, who does the art for the fantasy table?
So with Fantasy Grounds, we actually use all of the actual D&D art. So we very much bring that in, so that when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons on Fantasy Grounds, it's very obvious that's what you're playing. So it's all part of us trying to make the virtual tabletop, making it just like around the table experience.
And I just want to, because I actually love building maps and custom maps and everything. are you able to like place even like little hideouts and little like Easter eggs in your map that maybe like you can see as a DM but no one else can see, or is it a shared map for everyone?
So we have a shared map with some fog of war that you can reveal
Okay,
things as you
cool.
go, and you can add things and you can hide tokens and stuff like that, and so you can always have like some tokens that are like hidden areas that you can turn on or off the visibility on as a DM.
Could you make a fully fledged like campaign through this, like without even actually playing it through? Because with the DM, it's very progressional, right?
Yeah.
But this seems almost like, I don't know if you ever did Fantasy RPG Maker or whatever, but you would create your own video game, and that almost sounds like this.
Yeah, it's very much so. It doesn't have the full automation that you would have with like RPG Maker, but we have on DM's Guild, for instance, we're in a partnership with them as well, and we have an export process. So you can create your own adventures, and you can export your campaign into an adventure module, and there are hundreds and hundreds of those
That's
up
what I'm
on
excited
DM's
about,
Guild.
right? Because you're going to have that
And you can
one
make some money,
fan.
too.
Yeah, you're going to find that one hardcore person that's going to make an amazing, like, well thought out, every nuance you could possibly imagine for this.
And on top of that, we've had some people you can even go further and program and make your own extensions, which are actually different mini programs. And
So you have like mods? Like
we have mods and stuff like that, and one person wrote like this excellent like tavern generator that has it tells you all the occupants that you might randomly meet in a tavern in addition to the tavern's name, and it goes into such detail. It's amazing. And then the menu is amazing, and the menu is like, oh, I have some speckled hydra eggs with a little side of horse whatever. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, I love that kind of stuff. It just helps kind of increase the immersion.
Yeah, exactly. The immersion. I feel like that sounds like I would be playing a video game, which as a huge gamer, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing it with all of my friends as well, and it happens to be D&D.
Yeah.
What other are there other portions of immersion that we're like missing? Are there any factors of this that we haven't really touched on?
I would just say, in general, campaign management is where we really focus a lot of attention. So even at the table, the whole part of when you're playing in a game around a table and you've just defeated this huge boss encounter and there's all this stuff and you've killed all these bad guys and you get all the inventory in the looting phase, that takes forever. And then someone's typically like furiously writing down all the different stuff, and you don't know what everything is. If it's magical, then you got to take it to town and find out. So all of that, you just drag and drop it, and then it's in your party inventory.
That's
It
great.
divides all the coinage out for you evenly so that everybody gets the same number of platinum pieces and gold pieces and all that. Just the little stuff like that. It just speed all of that up, So that's probably one of my favorite things. The speaking in different languages is cool. We have different fonts for all the different fancy languages,
That's cute.
so you can speak in Draconic, and only people that know Draconic can actually see the translation underneath it.
That is so cool.
Stuff like that.
So if we want to get our hands on Fantasy Grounds, we go to Steam or
You can
the
go
website?
to Steam or to fantasygrounds.com.
Awesome.
And either one of those will support Mac and Linux and PC, Windows PC.
I was about to say like Mac and Linux with no PC.
And Windows PC, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This has
Thanks.
been fantastic. Thanks for sitting with us as they're setting up for yet another game, which is very exciting. To finish the day, I think you already know that Mike Merles is going to be running an adventure for some people that you probably know. But before we get to that, we have one more interview, and that is going to be with Nathan Stewart, the director of D&D. We're going to hear from him what he has thought of the Stream of Annihilation so far and what we have in store for tomorrow. But before that, a little video about Fantasy Grounds. We'll see you back real soon.
Welcome back, guys. Kelly Link here of